Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be cooking soul food collard greens, and you could use whatever kind of meat you want for this, but I am going to be using ham because I have such a huge ham, so I'm just going to use some of it for the greens. You can use smoked turkey, you can use smoked ham, ham hocks, whatever. I'm going to be using the bags of collard greens, and I'm getting the bags because it is so much easier than picking the greens, but it's still the same thing. I have mustard greens. I actually have 2 bags of mustard greens, and I have a bag of turnip greens. So mixing turnip, collard, and mustard is just doing mixed greens. Like I said, just because, it's easier, you still want to wash the greens. Right now, I'm putting the ham in a pot, and I am just going to fill it up a little bit above halfway with water. I am going to let this ham boil for about 2 hours, roughly an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. That way, you know that the ham is about to, good and tender, ready to fall apart. You're going to clean your sink out. You're going to put your stopper in, and you're going to empty the greens into the sink so that you can wash them. And so that's what I'm doing here. Just because they picked them don't mean that they cleaned them. And even if they say they cleaned, don't ever trust that. Still wash your own greens. So I'm just going to dump all of them in the sink, like all 4 bags. 4 bags is a lot. So, unless you plan on making some greens for the whole house, you don't necessarily need this many. But I love greens, and I plan to be eating Thanksgiving Day food for about, 3-4 days at least. So I'm just making sure that I make a lot. So you're going to fill the sink with water, and you're just gonna constantly move them around. You're gonna try to bring the ones that are at the bottom, you're gonna try to bring them to the top, and basically you're just moving them around in the water. Okay, now as you're doing this, now mind you, this is cold water only. As you're doing this, you want to reach at the bottom. You want to let the water out, and then you are going to let the water drain completely out. Then you're going to fill it back up. You're going to do this about 3 times to wash the greens. So that's all you see me doing here. Nothing fancy, nothing special. I'm just washing them again. Okay, so now I'm just taking a strainer, and I'm just gonna put the greens in here so that they can kind of still let the water drip off of them, but it'll be easier for you to take this bowl to the pot and put them inside of the pot as opposed to trying to move them from the sink. So that's why I do this part. So I'm just taking them and I'm just dropping them into the ham. Now this is after the ham done already boiled for about an hour and 45 minutes. I'm dropping the greens into the pot. So I'm basically trying to put as many greens as I can in here at one time. So I filled the bowl up again with the greens out of the sink, and then I'm putting even more inside of the pot. So then I'm going to, once I put as many as I can, I'm just going to put a lid on them. And I still have some in the sink, but we need to wait for these to cook down, because as they cook, they shrink, and once they shrink, you have more room in the pot to add more greens. You constantly just want to add greens while they're cooking down. So I just put a little lid on there, and I kind of put it like tilted so that they can kind of still, like, I want to say, like, have a little bit of air. I don't know how to describe it. You just don't put the top all the way on there. You just kind of crack it a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just taking a spoon and I'm just kind of pushing the greens down some because I am about to get ready and add the last of the greens that I have in the sink. But before I do that, I'm gonna add some seasoning. You just wanna use some regular Lawry's seasoning salt. And you, as far as how much you put in there, child, I don't even know how much that is. I probably call that like maybe 2 tablespoons. I don't know. But you wanna add the seasoning salt, mix it up, and then you wanna taste the juice. Whatever the juice tastes like, that's what the greens is gonna taste like. So once you taste the juice, if it seemed like, oh, it needs some more seasoning salt, then you add some more salt. And if not, then you good. Now I am just adding the rest of the greens. This is the last of them, I promise. I'm just adding the last of them so that these can cook down too with the rest of the pot. Okay, so once that's done and they boil down and shrink, basically cook down, you're going to add some sugar. Please don't ask me why. No, actually I do know why. You add the sugar to get rid of the bitter taste. It's kind of like when you add a little bit of sugar to spaghetti, you know, to get rid of the bitter taste in the pasta sauce. Okay, it's the same thing. So you add a little bit of sugar, and then this is what they look like when they are done. You know they are done when they look wilted. I don't even know exactly, like, this is just how they look when they're done. I don't know how else to explain that. I put in a little shot of how my ham looked when it was done before I put on a glaze. If you like this tutorial, go ahead and subscribe, like this video. Until the next time, guys, bye.